Hello, welcome back to the channel. I hope you can hear me. Do let me know, of course, in the live chat. It's been a very up and down day for me as a football fan. Of course, I woke this morning to what was really distressing news, actually, in regards to Diogo Jota and his brother Andre, of course, passing away tragically in that car accident in northern Spain. And before we dive into the more positive Watford news, which I know you're all excited about, I do just want to quickly say that, clearly, football is meaningless when things like this happen. Diogo on the pitch was fantastic to watch. He come up against Watford many times, both at Wolves and also during his time at Liverpool. He scored a few goals against us as well. And on his day, I truly believe he was a world-class footballer. And to lose him and his brother in such tragic circumstances is not only a loss for the wider footballing world, it's also a big loss to his parents, his wife, his children, his family, and his friends. So before we dive into the Watford news, I just want to say it's been a privilege watching Diogo Jota play football in this country. And I hope his family feel loved at this moment in time. So to both Diogo and Andre, it's a shame it ended this way, of course, but yeah, fly high, rest in peace. And yeah, we'll move on to some more positive Watford news. But I felt that needed to be said before we dive into the Watford transfers. But yeah, a tragic way to start the day. I kind of got that feeling in my stomach when I first read the stories. I couldn't quite believe it was real, especially in my lifetime as well. I don't think I've ever seen such a high-profile player in their prime pass away so young, and for his parents and his family as well, it's going to be incredibly distressing and heartbreaking. So yeah, for me, incredibly sad. He ended on a high. I think that's the only positive I can bring to you. He got married 10 days ago to the love of his life from when he was younger. He won the Nations League with Portugal as well, lifting a trophy of your national team. He won the Premier League with Liverpool not too long ago, and now, of course, tragically, as I said, he passed away in the early hours of this morning. So yeah, devastating news. We'll leave it there and we'll move on to some more positive Watford news to get our spirits back high again. So we'll start with the major breaking story actually that came out this evening. And this story come from Nizar Kinsella from BBC Sport. I know Do Not Scratch Your Eyes put out a tweet as well. And that is that Watford are in advanced talks to sign forward Pape Diallo from FC Metz for £4.3 million. Now, I've done a little bit of digging before I've come live. I've not had too long to do any research at all, but this does seem very, very credible indeed. Now, for me, the fee for a player who has a year left on his contract for a club who are quite low down in the French league screams there's some red flags there for me. £4.3 million. Watford haven't spent that much on a player for a significant period of time. So firstly, I think it's great to see finally some ambition from our owner. I think that's key to say. And also, it's a position we need as well. I've mentioned the need for wingers, reinforcements in them wide areas. We'll talk about the strikers later in this stream, of course, because that's, of course, another interesting topic of discussion. But I have mentioned before the need to strengthen, well, especially on that right-hand side, but more so as well on that left. Vata and Georgie, if one of them gets injured, there's a big void kind of in that area of the pitch. So as I said, I've not done any research really on Pape Diallo at all. The news has just broken, so do excuse me. But from what I've read, he can play in various positions across the front line, including that striker position as well as potentially a more pacey, quick option. He can play on the right, but primarily he is a left winger. He's got some tricky skills, if you will, a low centre of gravity. Senegalese international, I believe, as well. So, of course, Ismail Assar is, of course, from Senegal as well. So good to kind of rekindle a Senegalese relationship at Watford. But yeah, that's the first story of the day. Pape Diallo from Metz for £4.3 million. A staggering amount of money. I'm shocked, actually, at reading that figure. Of course, this is initial reports. That figure may go up, it may come down, but to read that, firstly, for me, it's incredible to see finally some ambition from our owner, and also once again, it's in a position we need. So I can't comment too much on how good Diallo is as a player because, as I said, I've not watched him at all in depth before this stream today. However, great ambition, position we need. And yeah, looking forward to hopefully seeing him sign for Watford. Let's take a look at a few of your comments, of course. Magnus is here. Hello, James. Hello, Magnus. I hope you are well. Matt says, hello, James. Hello, Matt. I hope you're well. Tom Potts is here. Hello, James. Rip Diogo Jota fly high. Yes, I addressed that at the start. Really devastating news. I felt sick, in my stomach reading this morning. And of course, his brother Andre tragically lost in that accident as well. I believe they were travelling back to the UK. They were meant to be travelling via ferry because Diego had just had an operation. So that was the safest way for him to get back to the UK rather than flying. And of course, devastating to hear what happened. Melanie, one of our channel members, thank you so much for your continued support, Melanie. If you want to become a channel member, by all means, click the join button down below. There's also a link in the description of this video for you to be able to do that. Melanie says, well said, James. Parents losing 2 children is heartbreaking. Absolutely. Of course, I don't have children myself. But yeah, I can imagine, how that feels. It must be absolutely awful. Matt says Jota was an amazing play. He certainly was. I think he was part, actually, talking about Jota, I think he was part of the Wolves side that we beat at Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final. And of course, he scored wonderful goals against us, at Liverpool over the years as well. I think his last goal for Liverpool actually come against Everton at Anfield, and I watched that earlier, and he, jinked in between all the defenders. It was fantastic to watch. So yeah, that's the first story to discuss today. So Pape Diallo from FC Metz, £4.3 million, a mega transfer fee for Watford, that is. Of course, you see massive clubs nowadays spending hundreds of millions of pounds. Liverpool, as we're just talking about them, they've just spent 120 million pounds or so on Florian Wirtz and Bayer Leverkusen, and 4.3 million is a lot of money for Watford. It's a good age. Diallo as well, I believe, is only 21, 22 years old. So if that progresses and he does eventually sign, of course, I'll do a bit more research. But one to keep an eye on, that's coming from, once again, Nizar Kinelsa at BBC Sports. So he's reporting the story that Watford are in advanced talks to sign Pape Diallo from FC Metz. Moving on from Diallo, we have another man to talk about, this time in the striker department. That is Alexander Mendy. Now, intriguing, this one, because I found out about this a few weeks ago now. I did a tweet on the Watford Way saying we were interested. We'd had initial discussions, but there wasn't anything advanced at that stage. Now, reports emerging today are suggesting that Watford have made an offer of €1 million, which is about £800,000, to secure Alexander Mendy on a permanent transfer from Cannes in France. Mendy is in the final year of his contract at Cannes. He's their record club goal scorer as well, 31 years of age. So a marked departure, you could argue, from our other additions this transfer window. Someone who's more senior, more experienced, and hopefully could nurture and develop alongside the likes of Mamadou Doumbia and Vivaldo Semedo, who we'll also come on to in just a moment. So again, very interesting stuff. Watford working hard in this transfer window to get deals done early. And for me, I've been very open and honest in my criticism of everyone at the club. I'm talking about Juan-Luca Nani, Scott Duxbury, Gino Pozzo. No one has evaded the criticism of me. I am sorry about that. I do apologise. However, you do have to give credit and praise where it is due. And for me, once again, Alexander Mendy, if we do also add Vivaldo Semedo, for me, those are 3 great profiles of strikers to have. You've got Mendy, who is an experienced pro, is a good target man, if you will, is good aerially. His runs near post especially look really quality. So yeah, for me, if we bring in these 3 strikers specifically, for a club like us, given how we've been in the last few years and our financial circumstances, I think he would be a fantastic addition. So not too much to add on that. I did initially report on our interest a few weeks ago. I've not heard anything else personally myself, but reports today, I think that was Foot Mercato or L'Equipe earlier on Alexander Mendy. They're reporting that Watford have made an offer of €1 million. And of course, Mendy is in the final year of his contract. Going back to Pape Diallo as well, Diallo is also in the final year of his contract, which does make me question why we are paying so much, 4.3 million for someone in the final year of the contract from the French second division is quite steep in my opinion. But yeah, of course, these things can change. It's only, one report, and I'm sure we'll find out more information from other sources at some point as well. So we've covered Mendy. Let's move on to Rivaldo Semedo. So it's about, what time is it? It's about 10:30, 11 p.m. last night. And my messages were flooded. James, Rivaldo Semedo's going to Lille in France. We've not got him. He's not joining Watford. I can assure you, I've been very confidently told by various people that Rivaldo Semedo has signed with Watford. He trained at the club earlier today. He is in England. So reports that suggest he is in France and signing for Lille, I can confidently say are completely incorrect and false. So nothing to worry about when it comes to Rivaldo Semedo. And once again, alongside Mendy, alongside Mamadou Doumbia, who is already at the club, them three additions in the striker department do make me very excited. I can't lie. So, my anticipation for the season is growing day by day. I've got that itch for the football coming back now. My disappointment around Tom Cleverley, I don't think is ever going to go away. That's always going to be in my mind. The way we treated Tom towards the end, in my opinion, wasn't correct. Some people may disagree, some people may agree. I totally get that. However, we can also be excited for Paolo, what he can offer, and the new season. And for me, Rivaldo Semedo, Mendy, and Mamadou Doumbia is so exciting. And Rivaldo Semedo, by the way, is really highly rated. When I first heard about our interest in Semedo, I thought, it's another striker from Udinese. It's just that relationship once again. Is he going to be another vacuum Bayo? That were my initial thoughts. However, after speaking to a few people and doing my own research, Semedo is very highly rated. Now, I think Lou Warnes did a fantastic, deep dive analysis into Semedo on his Substack. So I would highly recommend you go and read through that, because it highlighted his pros in his games, his flaws. And by all means, he still seems very raw around the edges, but he's a very powerful runner. He's got a good shot, and he can carry the ball excellently by all accounts. So, I would urge you to go and read Lou Warnes. I'm sure a lot of you know him on Twitter. He did a great deep dive into Rivaldo Semedo and what he can offer at Watford. So, as I said, the reports he was joining Lille, I can assure you, are incorrect. They are false. I've been confidently assured he is signed for Watford. He trained with us this morning, so he was at London Colney this morning. And I imagine Watford will look to announce that deal either tomorrow or over the weekend. I think what we've seen today, and of course I don't work for Watford, so this is just an assumption, but with the news earlier of Diogo Jota, I think a lot of football clubs around the country thought they should pause their output in social media today, almost as a mark of respect, of course. So I imagine Rivaldo Semedo, do not worry, that'll be confirmed pretty sharpish by the club, I imagine. Let's take a few more looks at your comments to see what you guys are saying. Tony, hello, James Edenall. Hope you're well, Tony. I'm all good. Ian Crute says, I think it will take a higher fee if we want Mendy. So this is the first, it seems like this is the first bid Watford have made for Alexander Mendy in France, of course. So they could equally reject it. They could accept it. Who knows? I don't know what's going on at the moment, but those are the reports coming out this afternoon. Pete, YouWarns TV. Mendy is at Cannes, pronounced Con. Thank you, Pete. Not Cannes. Famous for its film festival. Okay, thank you, Pete, for that. I'll tell you what, I'm not great at pronunciations. Like, you ever need pronunciation advice, do not come to me. I was told actually, with Paolo, you pronounce his surname Petzolano rather than Pezzolano. So Paolo Pezzolano, not Paolo Pezzolano. So there we go. Thank you for the pronunciation advice, Pete. Really appreciate that. Eugene, hello, James. How am I doing? I'm doing very well, Eugene. It's been a scorchio in the UK over the past few days, so I'm mightily relieved to see some cloud and some cooler weather. Actually, I've been very sweaty. Actually, Hornets house. Hello, Ian Crew. There's only one Vacuum Bayo. We've got a Vacuum Bayo fan in the house. So that is the update so far in regards to Vivaldo Semedo. What a fantastic name, by the way, for a footballer. Superb stuff. I'm sure commentators will love that. Caleb Wiley, I'm not too sure what is going on with Caleb Wiley, to be honest with you. I heard months ago, back towards the end of April, start of May, that Watford were looking, of course, to bring him back on another loan deal. I think that was always the plan anyway. When he signed back in January, they were always, if Caleb wanted to, looking to extend it for a further year. It's gone very, very quiet. My understanding from about a week or so ago was that he was at Chelsea and undergoing some very basic tests there, of course, as part of pre-season. He didn't travel with them, of course, to the Club World Cup. He isn't part of that squad, just to clarify. But yeah, like with Semedo and like with lots of other things, I'm sure Watford will announce Caleb in due course, maybe even tomorrow with the kit, which I'll come on to very shortly indeed. So, to recap what we just went over, Alexander Mendy, reportedly, a €1 million offer has been placed in for him. I think that come from L'Equipe in France, as I said earlier. Vivaldo Semedo, as I said, I have been assured he's not in France. He is with Watford and he trained with us this morning. So nothing to worry about there. And also the big story from this evening, do not scratch your eyes, and the reporter from the BBC, Nizar Kinsella, have reported that Pape Diallo from FC Metz is in advanced negotiations with Watford to sign for £4.3 million. I still can't quite believe I'm saying that. Watford signing a player for a transfer fee. Who would have thought it, hey? So yeah, Pape Diallo, that's a big story today. In fact, what I'll try and do is, shall we try and get up some statistics of Pape Diallo? Let's see what I can do here. As I said, I'm doing this on the fly. I was just sitting here and I thought there's so much news right now. I've got to come on and speak to some fellow Watford fans because, lots of news. So, yeah, I'm looking at his statistics now, actually. He's not the most prolific of wingers, is what I was saying. I think that's what one of the Mets fans said in a recent tweet, actually. He said he would be a good option for us out wide. He wouldn't necessarily be a first choice starter. I think obviously depending on how Paolo plays, you might have Georgie on the left or Vata on the left. Equally, Georgie could drop into midfield, and if Diallo signs, Diallo could move out to the left. So I think for me, it's about adding depth and quality depth as well, because last season, when injuries come post-January, we all saw that we lacked depth in certain areas, because what we don't want, and I think we can all admit this, is Musa Sissoko playing out right wing again. Now, don't get me wrong, Musa Sissoko, to be fair to the guy, at the end of last season, actually scored quite a few goals from that position, but it's not natural to him. We want people, ultimately in football nowadays, we're trending much more towards youthful, powerful, physical talents. The older eggs, if you will, in football are maybe not as useful as they used to be. Of course, you have the exceptions of the world-class players that go on to play until their late 30s, early 40s even. But today, football is more about youth, pace, and quality in attacking areas. And it seems like, from early impressions, as I said, very early impressions, I only heard of this story about an hour ago, Pape Diallo could be that player for us. Before I head off for tonight, I'm not going to stay in for too long because I don't want to keep you away from relaxing this evening. The new kit is set to be announced tomorrow. I'm looking forward to this because I have seen the kit, and personally, I'm not a huge fan so far. Now, I've seen a kit, I've seen what you would call maybe an early concept of the kit. I've not seen the kit on the players themselves. Um, I don't want to ruin it too much. What do I say? What do I say? It's a striped design. So there are stripes on the kit, and the color red features, as I said in my tweet, quite prominently on the front. So yeah, I'm not going to ruin it too much. If you want a comparison and you want to search it up, the best comparison I've made from someone else's kit, I think it was a 2013 Barcelona away kit. So if you want to ruin the surprise for yourself, if you will, that kit is quite similar to the Watford kit. Not too similar, you know, about 60% I would say. But yeah, the 2013 Barcelona yellow away kit, if you want to search that up, that is going to be quite similar to, I believe, the kit Watford are going to reveal tomorrow. And they have just teased it on their social media platforms as well. And from my understanding, in previous years, Watford have done a pre-order, and then you'd have to wait a week before you receive the kit. I believe this year it will be available straight away from the Hornet shop tomorrow. So no waiting around. If you want the kit tomorrow, by all means, you know, head into the town centre, or of course go online to purchase it yourself. For me personally, I don't buy the kits straight away. I'm quite money savvy. I like to save. So yeah, usually I wait until either the new year, or if I do want to save even more money, I'll wait until kind of April, May time. They usually discount the kits to about 25, 30 pounds at that point. So yeah, interesting stuff. I'm not going to ruin it for you anymore. But yeah, I have seen an early concept of the kit, not on the players. I personally am not a fan, although we've seen that with leaks before, and then actually when the players wear them, it turns out to look pretty nice. Also, I believe red shorts are confirmed. So you heard it here first. Red shorts fans out there, red shorts are confirmed. So yeah, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff there. I probably shouldn't have said any of this. But I've said it now, so there we go, it's out there. So yeah, Watford revealing that tomorrow. I've got no idea around the time they'll do it. Usually with Watford, in previous years, it's been about 9 a.m. they would reveal the new kit. So keep an eye on your phones. 8, 9 a.m, maybe 10. That is when the new kit will be coming out. So, should we do one final recap before we go? I'm quite enjoying this stream actually. I'm in a good mood tonight. We've had the new kit. We've had Alexander Mendy. We've had Pape Diallo. We've had Vivaldo Semedo. What a name. And of course, we spoke about Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva at the start, which, as I said, is devastating, devastating news. So I think we've covered absolutely everything. I'm happy to stick around for a few more minutes if you have any questions. Oh, João Pedro, actually. Melanie, thank you so much. Melanie, one of our channel members. JP10 to Chelsea is good for us, with some money emojis there. Let's talk about this, actually, because I did a TikTok earlier, actually. Go and follow the Watford Way on TikTok, of course, trying to push that as much as possible. You know, João Pedro, what a journey for him. He come to Watford as a boy, really, an 18-year-old, you know, slender guy from Brazil. He didn't speak the language. I think, was it Aurelio Gomez kind of helped him bed into the country at the time. And he's gone on to perform extremely well for Brighton. And ultimately now he's earned himself a move to what you would call, I think this is no underestimation of Chelsea. I think, you know, they are one of the biggest clubs in the world. Maybe not in the past few years, but they've won so many Premier Leagues, you know, going back 10 years or so. It's absolutely incredible. So to see someone from Watford like João, who we grew and we developed, go on to superstardom at Chelsea is absolutely incredible. And I think the biggest story here for Watford is that I think we signed him for about 5 or 6 million. We sold him to Brighton for 30, 35 million. And now we've recouped another 4 or 5 million from this sell-on fee. So my understanding is Richarlison went to Everton for obviously a relatively high price. But because of this sell-on, João Pedro is now Watford's record sale in terms of income generated to the club, which is really good. And who knows, maybe actually the Joao Pedro money is being reinvested into this Pape Diallo we've been talking about today, because I'm still shocked that we're willing to spend that much on a player, given the last financial accounts we of course read. So we'll have to wait and see. Tom says, love Joao, hope for the best for him. So yeah, Joao Pedro to Chelsea, really good to see. A great announcement video as well. He was doing some keepy uppies on a random beach in America, of course, as they're at the Club World Cup. So great announced video. Lovely kit, the Chelsea kit this year, by the way, as well. So I think I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me today. There was just so much news that I needed to get off my chest. I thought it was right I would come on here and discuss it with you. So make sure to follow The Watford Way across all social platforms. We're of course here on YouTube. Make sure to give us a subscribe by clicking the big red button down below. We're on Twitter, also now known as X, TikTok, Instagram, and as I said, here on YouTube as well. So once again, I appreciate loads of you tuning in this evening, of course, and keep an eye out for the Watford kit tomorrow morning. For me, it's got a bit of a retro feel. So I think some people will love it, some people will hate it. The away and third kits, I'm not going to spoil from what I've been told, but I think they may be light, potentially, in their design more than the home shirt. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Home kit tomorrow, and hopefully a few sign-ins announced as well. And of course, I'll keep you updated here on YouTube with all the latest Watford news. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.